Hi guys, and welcome to your weeklies, or rather to say bi-weeklies for the period of May the 1st to May 15th. I decided to try to do something differently this time around, which is a little bit more encompassing spread, given with how many energies were like in the past, with everybody trying to clear something. It was lots of third-party situations. Overall energy was like really low, so I'm trying to really get us collectively out of it. We're trying to see much higher picture, and of course, being ambitious, I took this spread which is called Golden Dawn spread. It's probably the most complex spread in tarot. It kind of has the groups of 3, and each 3s are differently explained. And regular tarot, every card has a weight, and it's kind of how it relates to surroundings. So without going into the details, it is really difficult. But sure enough, I did get to see a different perspective, because I just finished basically reading for all the signs, and we all have one thing in common. We are putting an end to something and starting something new. So it's a spring cleaning our lives. It's lovely. Some of us are going to struggle through it. Some of us are going to have Tower card through it. Most of us are just going to say, okay, enough is enough. I really want to start something new. And this Taurus energy is really wonderful. By the way, happy birthday, Taurus. And it's going to get us really forward to where we want to be. And it's nice grounding energy. It's going to help to kind of plant the new seeds. I love it. So it's very short, and even this introduction is very short, so don't fret. And at the end, I'm going to pull an oracle card, and kind of like we can see even that love direction as well. And spread can actually talk about the other things as well other than love, but mostly, of course, you know that I focus on love. Also, in a few days, I'll be releasing X spread in about a week from now, so that way you can check that out as well. For those of you who are still having on and off relationships, or you are wondering like what is happening with your ex, trying to reach the closure, or trying to see if you should pursue it, etc., right? And that X spread is on a special still for the next 2 weeks, so it is $45. It has been its regular price is $60, so please book it while it's still on 45 specials. So you can just check on my website www.cattarot.ca, or you can check it down in the description, and you'll get all my information. Contact me via Facebook or via website or via email. Also, please subscribe, share, and like, so that way when you're a subscriber, you always get in your like mailbox something has been released and published, so you're always the first one. Also, the contest that I had for joining the Facebook and being entered automatically in the draw is going to end on the 30th, when I'm going to make a draw. I have decided, instead of one person, that I'm going to give 3 20-minute basically readings. So there is still time, because this is going to be released a couple of days before the 1st, so if you want to just jump in. However, I'm starting a new contest on the 1st. It's going to run probably the entire month, and it's going to be for every comment, for every like, for every share. It's going to count as one basically entry, so it's going to be for the next 20-minute basically reading. So jump on board, interact. On Facebook, I'm just having a different approach. I kind of like put stuff that is related to tarot and to cats, and sort of like it will be really nice that we kind of as a community kind of learn from each other. So there you go. Join Facebook, like it, follow it, share it, comment it, and automatically you are being entered in a draw for a possible free reading. Thanks very much. Love you. Hi Virgos, welcome to your bi-weeklies, and you are the heroes this time around. You and Pisces share the top spot, so yeah, you're getting like really in-depth readings. So let's go and see what basically these 2 weeks are bringing in a store for you. It tells me that the central energy that you have here is the Hanged Man. Well, it's kind of like really interesting card to get, because you have been going through lots of turmoil. Some of you have been going through lots of turmoil lately, and this is telling me that you actually finally, or I mean, that you're willing to surrender yourself to experience, that you're willing to kind of say, oh, so be it, let's see what else can happen, right? But you're consciously choosing to take no action. And there are advantages of taking no action at times, because it's kind of like our whole system is going to reset, because you felt like, look, my system was resetting for such a long time now, and you know, and you were resisting it. It's almost kind of like felt like maybe you contributed to the breakdown. So what you'll be doing is like looking at things from different perspective, or just absolutely like taking no action, just kind of getting a spiritual insight in many things that you're doing. And it is kind of like really interesting kind of thing, because you have here also the other two energies, which are extremely important. So kind of like you're looking into what is the best for your happiness and how to be the most solid on your 2 feet. I just finished Pisces, which kind of had the same energy over here, so it's kind of like really amazing, but yours is stronger because you also have 10 of Cups. So what is basically talking that there's water and earth energy, and they're complementary energies. So basically your entire process these 2 weeks would be to firm yourself, to solidify yourself, to kind of see how to go further, how to go ahead. This is really important to be if you want to be in a long-term relationship, because some people interpret this card as single, but I interpret this card as single because it's not going in a long-term relationship or having that option. Because once when you get firmly on your 2 feet, believing that you know who you are, then you really you kind of like start to excel in many other ways of life, because other person's mood cannot affect you. You understanding that you can handle if things go wrong. And I think you're exactly thinking about that, kind of like trying to look at all the aspects of the situation and see, like, I mean, how you can kind of dwell on positive aspects. How can you kind of find this whole you pretty much want it all in these 2 weeks. You wanted to kind of like be solid on your 2 feet as an individual, and also you want to have the comfort of your loved ones and of your home. And you're willing to do the work, kind of like to kind of go and think about that, right? So in psychological basis, I do see that you still, I mean, you're still basically into this hangman energy, because there is like this 8 of Swords feeling that you're still on some level blindfolded and kind of like feel stuck. It's kind of like almost like help needed, please help me, but you're not necessarily also willing to accept that help. It's kind of really still thinking along the lines, what do I do from this point on? Because it shows that you still feel turmoil. You still feel that there are shaky grounds and kind of panic attacks for the some of you. For the others, literally issues with your home and how and what you perceive to be a happy home. And certainly there are many issues that need to be revisited during this Mercury retrograde period, where some of them made you insecure, as here, and the others made you really sad. And pretty much like with 3 different energies, this one really not being supportive energy, you don't do well when you're paralyzed, even though for you it's even better going through turmoil and going through sadness than being paralyzed, because here it's like something that you had those worries, you had this like feeling of being, you know, separated from how to deal things, and the things were as a result happening, and they make you so it's kind of like was that vicious circle that kind of like was creating whole bunch of things all over the place, right? So this ground here is like probably making you kind of like reassess things and to see how you're going to see them differently in order to build, and this is definitely your goal. You want to build a firm ground of who you are. What you put is like this kind of like on Maslow hierarchy of needs, this is kind of survival need, absolutely being taken care of, and then you're also looking into kind of like emotional and emotional fulfillment, right? So you're realizing you have to go step at a time. Just jumping 3 steps, it's okay, but then you miss on the path what's going on. So Then we are going into the possibility of how these 2 weeks will evolve, and it's really lovely here because you guys really, by doing nothing or just by sitting and thinking through it, and while working on these energies of possible pain or anxiety. Here, let me move this camera a little bit closer to you. Oh, that cannot happen because of me. So there you go. Because of this pain and anxiety, it's so showing to me that it's coming into kind of like 10 of Pentacles. So this is like, you see, your attempt to kind of like firm yourself up and kind of like do this, like recall all this earthy energy and kind of like work on your grounds. And this is like your energy all the way, and you're also in the, basically we're going through the transit of Taurus. It's absolutely good timing to do that, and you're succeeding. Like, I mean, you are setting yourself on this path to kind of build this firm ground, and like you're going to really feel completely comfortable these 2 weeks. And even better than that, you're going to feel like you're in your element. That's kind of like Zen. And you know, communication is going to excel, how you present yourself, how you actually create your home. You're going to maybe, some of you attend to home decorations or home renovations, things around the family, things about celebrations, gathering together. You know, it's kind of like really revisiting these energies. So really important for those of you who are looking for a mate. This is going to be a tricky part if you're looking for someone, because you're still having this residual energy. And I'm saying this because I see here, and like this is one of the possibilities for some Virgos, is going to go in a clear direction. You're kind of like set your mind and kind of like to dig deep and peel the onion and see what works for your happiness, what worked in the past, and kind of like remove the things that didn't work and now add the things that did work. And some of you will do really well. The others will still have the issues with things that happened in the past. It will be some nostalgia. It will be still thinking about, you know, kind of taming certain things in you. Like, I mean, you're still feeling on the edge with the other things. So here we have very opposing energies. We have a fire and water, and some of you will get really grounded. Others will get very unstable, I have to say. And well, not unstable, that's not maybe the best word I can use here. You will be rattled, let's call it this way, because you have this overwhelming sense of feeling of nostalgia, and like maybe if you have kids, it's kind of like dedication to it. But certain things won't be in order, certain things will not fit properly, and you know, like this kind of like strength, which usually shows the lion being tamed, right? It's actually opposing energy to basically this, and it almost like shows it's going to weaken you by going in that direction, going back in the past. And we can see that weakened energy here as well, because right, this is where this kind of brings you. If you get weakened, you're going back to memories of all these things. And so it's kind of like dual emotional energy. Inside, you still feel turmoil, a certain thing didn't happen, you're sad over something, but somewhere in the top of your head there is like this fantasy about these things that can happen, and this is where the anxiety happens, because you know on some level that you just get defensive and you even go into the good thoughts. So just be careful about this. And so interestingly, I'm leaving the karma part for the last part, and this is basically talking about the forces that you have no control but you can adapt to, while all the others you can see different trajectories. And even though there's going to be trajectory for a few of you guys and this is going to be trajectory for the others, it might be the both for the third kind of group of Virgos. And so here's something that sort of like is influencing this period, right? So it is still kind of like the balance. You see, like I see 2 pentacles, and like they're all earth energy, really good, because you'll be clearing something out. You're clearing this codependency, you're clearing this like unhealthy involvements. it is like something that probably did bring you this turmoil. Like when you keep going on this devil path and you don't want to prevent things yourself, it just karma steps in and says, off you go, I'll show you. And you know, it's pretty much it's kind of like when you make a choice, right? And like, I mean, when you're staying in a situation that is contrary to your best interest, and well, when you do something and it turns into something that it's not meant to be, when you even say the words and you hurt somebody, or vice versa, right? And you don't understand why this is happening either, because it can be two options. One could be like really that you don't even understand. Another one that you are getting some level of understanding that, okay, this is not good, I have to stop it right now. Because, you know, sometimes it's very hard to say no. And this card to me majorly tells I have to learn how to say no, because without that you're getting weaker, you're going back into this pain and stuff. But with kind of like learning this karma in the 2 weeks is like, okay, you'll probably be having a choice between the two things, what you want and how to keep everything like sort of like in balance. And that choice is going to determine if you're going to be building this. But look, this is really important, because you have karmically, you are basically going to influence your karma these 2 weeks, if and how you're going to make this choice, if it's healthy for you. If it is healthy, then you're going to go into the building, and look, you're going from 8 to 9 to 10, clear trajectory, off you go all the way. If you don't, and I think this is the key, then you're going to go right back into this circle of, okay, like the past and what happened and how basically it's linked and how it's going to work out. So my Virgos, I would like to see what happens. Are you going to kind of tap into your earth energy, or are you going to get weak in your knees again? So let me know in the comments. And here I'm going to pull a love oracle card of advice for this period. Oops, something did flip. Huh? Of course, pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. So that's probably this, right? Just watch for the posts on the road, and make sure that when they are, that you really take care of, you know, understanding that this can actually take you back into that position where you don't want to be. And remember that your starting point and overall energy is like looking at things from a different perspective. So don't be, I'm not saying not to be open-minded, but if you know that something is a red flag, it is a red flag, right? And try to figure out why it is, and try to figure out if it's going to help you, or if it's going to just take you right back to some sadness, or it can cause the turmoil, because that literally would be not one but quite a few steps behind. So Virgos, hopefully you enjoy your bi-weeklies. My X series is coming out in a few days, so take a look at that as well. Thanks. In the meantime, you can order your private reading from me, and I still have the special on, so just feel free to contact me. Love you. Bye.